Let's be honest, investing can feel like this chaotic, overwhelming world that's basically designed to confuse you, right? But what if I told you there's a simple, almost elegant strategy that just cuts through all of that noise? Today, we are breaking down the Bogle Blueprint, a really powerful back-to-basics approach for hitting your financial goals. Let's jump in. Okay, so first, let's just set the scene. For most of us, when we think about investing, it feels like we're staring at this incredibly complex maze. I mean, you've got thousands of stocks, endless hot tips from your cousin, and this constant fire hose of financial news telling you what to do next. It really feels like you need a degree in finance just to get your foot in the door.
And that feeling? It leads to some really common frustrations. You get hit with these high fees that are just quietly eating away at your money. You're completely paralyzed by a dizzying number of choices. You might even follow these so-called experts on TV only to watch them get it wrong. And the result of all that is just constant stress. I mean, does any of this sound familiar?
Well, here's the wild part. The data actually backs all this up with a pretty startling fact. The vast majority of professional, highly paid fund managers, the experts who are supposed to be the best in the business, they actually fail to beat the simple average of the market over the long run. So think about that. If they can't reliably do it, what chance do the rest of us have? This is where a guy named John Bogle enters the picture with a truly radical idea. He looked at that massive failure rate of the experts and proposed something completely counterintuitive. He said, instead of trying so hard to beat the market, maybe we should try a different approach altogether. And this one quote, it just perfectly captures his entire philosophy. He said, don't look for the needle in the haystack, just buy the haystack. So forget trying to find that one magic stock, that one needle. His idea was brilliantly simple. What if you could just own a tiny piece of every company in the market? What if you just bought the whole haystack? And the tool he created to let you do this is called an index fund. It's nothing fancy. It's not trying to be clever. It's a fund that's designed to do one thing and one thing only. Buy all the stocks or bonds in a specific market index, like the S&P 500, and then just hold on. That's it. It's the ultimate buy the haystack machine. So how do you actually put this into practice? Well, the Boglehead strategy is so simple, you can build the whole thing with just 3 core components. This is it, the 3-fund blueprint. Yep, that's it. Your entire globally diversified portfolio is right here on this slide. It's made of just 3 simple ingredients. No complicated stock picking, no trying to time the market, just these 3 slices. So, what are they? All right, here's the reveal. First, you've got a total U.S. stock market index fund. That's for growth from the American economy. Second, a total international stock market fund, so you can capture growth from literally the rest of the world. And third, a total bond market fund. This one's for stability. It kind of acts like a cushion when the stock market gets rocky. So you see, the crucial point here is this is a complete shift in your mindset. You're no longer playing the lottery, trying to find that next Amazon or Google. Your goal is simply to own the entire engine of global capitalism and just benefit from its overall long-term growth. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work? Let's look at the evidence, because it really shows why this simple approach is so incredibly powerful over time.
Okay, the core difference really comes down to this. On one side, you have active funds. They have high fees because you're paying a manager to try and outsmart the market. You're basically betting on their skill. On the other side, you have index funds. They have ultra-low fees because their only goal is to match the market by owning everything. It's a bet on diversification.
And those fees, man, they make a staggering difference over time. We're talking about an average of around 0.75% for an active fund versus as low as 0.05% for an index fund. Now, that might not sound like much, but when you compound that difference over decades, it can literally consume a huge chunk of your potential returns. It's like a tiny leak sinking a giant ship. And here is the knockout punch. Just look at this. Over a recent 15-year period, a staggering 92% of active fund managers failed to beat their own market index. Let that sink in. That means if you picked an active fund at random, you had a 9 in 10 chance of paying more money for worse performance. It's just mind-blowing. So, the whole thing boils down to this one simple truth. When you invest, the costs you pay are guaranteed.
They are certain. They come out of your account every single year, no matter what. But that hope of beating the market, that outperformance, is not only uncertain, it's actually highly improbable. Bogle's whole strategy is about focusing on the one thing you can actually control, keeping your costs as low as possible.
So, what does this all mean for you? This isn't just some dusty financial theory. It's a real, practical tool. It's about taking back control and realizing you have a financial superpower you probably didn't even know you had. That's it, right there, simplicity. In a world that is constantly trying to sell you complexity at a really high price, choosing the simple, low-cost, and proven path is probably the most powerful move you can make with your money. So let's just recap what you get with this blueprint. You get lower costs, which just means more of your money is actually working for you. You get way less stress, because you're not trying to outsmart the entire market every day. You achieve incredible diversification automatically. And maybe most importantly, you get more time to focus on your life, your family, your hobbies, not on your portfolio. And that really brings us to the final thought here. The Bogle Blueprint is all about this powerful, kind of weird idea that sometimes the best course of action is to do less, to just stop tinkering, stop chasing the hot stock, and let the market do the heavy lifting for you. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What could you achieve in your finances and in your life by doing less?